Good morning, good day, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining us today for this video on Eliza. Now, a video on a computer program may seem odd, but this is a very special computer program. It's been around since the 1960s, and it was one of the first to simulate human interactions, making it one of the first AI programs that was generally available to people. I first stumbled upon Eliza in the 1980s, and I wrote a version of Eliza using C language and Unix. Later on, when Android came out, I tried to make an Android version that had voice capabilities, and that didn't get very far. But here we are, and ChatGPT has changed the landscape for chatbots, for programs like Eliza. So let me show you what it looks like in the 21st century. First of all, just in the interest of transparency, please know that this is not a real mental health therapist. It is only a simulation. If you need mental health services, please call the National Mental Health Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988, or your local health providers. Please, this is just a computer program. It is not a real therapist. So what are we going to do in these 12 minutes we have together here? History of Eliza, why this program is important, Rogerian therapy and AI, why it kind of fits together, a demonstration of the new Eliza in Python code, overview of the code, and what does the future hold? Where are we going from here? Okay, so Eliza has a long history. Back in 1966, Joseph Weizenbaum and MIT invented it. And it was groundbreaking for the time. It did many things, but it is not really understanding. As we'll see, there's some very good explanation for the amount of intelligence it appeared to be putting out. You can see more at Wikipedia. They have a nice article on the history of Eliza there. And this is what it looked like, if you were using it. It was a teletype, and it used pattern matching and replacement technology. So I changed the nouns and the verbs, and I can change a sentence back and reflect it back to the person. As I said, it's one of the first chatterbots. We call them chatbots now. And more importantly, one of the first programs to attempt the Turing test. And the Turing test of AI is something we'll talk more about in a few minutes. In the 70s and 80s, there was a language called Lisp. It was Lisp processing. The original Eliza was built with these Lisp-like scripts in a language called Madslip, if you will. A real good example coming out of New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT, is just the original Eliza. Someone put it together and put it out there. I thank them for it. And if you want to see, exactly what the early version could do, check out this link. Okay, the Turing test. So in 1950, Alan Turing came along, the first time ever, and said, could a machine exhibit human qualities? So take three people, put them in separate rooms. The only way they can communicate with each other is through text messages. No voice, no visuals, just text messages. Can the person asking the two entities questions determine whether one of them is a robot or not? Is the computer's behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable of that of a human? Many people have said yes, that Eliza passes this test, but it's a matter of personal opinion, really, whether it is truly sounding human. But with the new version, I think you'll be impressed. So could Eliza pass the Turing test? You be the judge. Rogerian therapy and AI. Eliza simulates a psychotherapist of the Rogerian school, where the therapist often reflects back the patient's words to the patient. This is important because it makes it easier to make it into a computer program. We're effectively taking words, changing the structure, reflecting it back. It comes out to a pretty simple algorithm, actually. More importantly, Rogerian therapy is grounded in the idea that people are inherently motivated toward achieving positive psychological functioning. And that's probably the most important thing. Okay, so here's a demonstration of Eliza using Python. And it's important to point out that there are many large language models at this point, and the one in ChatGPT is slightly different than the one we're using here with the Python API. It's GPT 3.5 Turbo, and ChatGPT is a slightly different version of the large language model. In any case, it is the brains for the conversation, keeps context for us, it can guide the conversation. The voice transcription is done through a Google Speech API service, which has its own large language model. And this leads to some delays. You'll see this in the program as I demo it. And we must wait for the computer to say, please tell me more before we start speaking again, so that it is picking it up at the right time. Those delays will go away as the technology matures. Oh, and all of the Python code is available here on our GitHub. And it is free, and I hope it spurs your imagination and ideas. And let's talk some more about it. But first, let's take a look at a demo of Eliza. Okay, so Eliza is a Python program. Python programs end with a py. So you say Python. And the main program here is Eliza main.py.python. And we execute it.
Hello, I am Eliza, an automated mental health therapy service. It's nice to meet you. May I know your name? Please tell me more.
My name is Michael, and I need to talk with someone.
Hi, Michael. It's good to have you here. I'm here to listen and help you in any way I can. What's on your mind today? Please tell me more.
I am blue.
I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. Can you tell me more about what's been making you feel blue? Please tell me more.
Oh, just the bills and the mortgage, worrying about them.
It sounds like you are feeling overwhelmed by financial stress. That can be a very difficult thing to deal with. Have you tried any coping strategies to help manage your stress? Please tell me more.
Eliza, what is my name?
Your name is Michael.
And with that, let's close it.
Please tell me more.
Control C, we'll end it. And what you just saw.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by Control C landed. Is everything okay? Please.
And what you just saw is an example of what can be done at this point. If you know the original Eliza, you know this is pretty far ahead. It has context. It can almost understand what you're saying. And it certainly, I think, could pass a Turing test for many people. Let's take a look at how it's done. Okay, so as I mentioned, everything is on GitHub. Bring the entire directory down, and you must have your Python installed on your local machine. You'll need these packages installed as well. Requirements.txt is included on the GitHub, and if you just say pip install -r requirements.txt or the equivalent in your environment, it should install everything you need. The lower level audio files and such will be specific to the machine you're working on. There's a basic class hierarchy for the program. We have a base class of robot. We use it for all of our robots here. There's Eliza, we have the Penwick Rover, but all of them start with the robot class. Eliza implements robot. And then Eliza is a composite of an OpenAI object and a Sound AI object. OpenAI obviously takes care of the ChatGPT communications, and Sound AI takes care of our speaking and understanding speech. What do you tell the program to do what it just did? How do you make it become Eliza? Well, you give it a situation context, and that's clear instructions on the context for the conversation. So I very clearly told in the code, you'll see, you are Eliza, an automated mental health therapy service, or what you're doing, and then how to do it. Introduce yourself to the client, greet, health and safety is first, refer when necessary, use principles of Rogerian therapy. Start by building rapport with the client, focus on problems, develop coping mechanisms. Classic therapy steps there. Putting all this together, these English sentences, is like speaking to an assistant, but they're called prompts, and the new skill set is called prompt engineering, to get the large language model to do the things you want it to do. Now, I'm not going to get more deeply into the code here, but if you'd like a code walkthrough of the code, put some notes in the comments, and I'll be happy to make up another video with a thorough code walkthrough. And with that, I'd like to wrap this up. I want to thank you for spending some time with me today to look at the Eliza program. I'm excited about the future and where this can go. And I invite you to download the code and work with it yourself, and let me know. Give me some feedback and some comments. And thank you. Thank you very much for attending this presentation this morning. You have a great day.